This video is for those who are on their way to success. Today I will be sharing with you the valuable life lessons that I have learned from watching Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. If you are a parent and is careful about what your children watches, consider this movie, for not only is it entertaining, but they will learn valuable life lessons that once applied to their lives will increase the chances of their success. One of the first lessons I learned is from the short scene in the movie. It is when all the Pokemon trainers are being told that it is dangerous for them to go to the island where Mewtwo is waiting for them. Why? Because there is a storm and there's 100 reasons why they shouldn't go. But yet there are a few trainers who decide to go and make it. Many times in our lives we are told that we shouldn't do things because it is dangerous, because there's 100 reasons why we will fail, there's 100 reasons why we will not succeed. But there's always those few that decide to take action. There's always those few who decide to find out. There is always those few who are willing to fail, or who are willing to find out, who are willing to fail, that they are not afraid to fail. They know they might fail, but they know they might succeed, and they're willing to take that chance. Failure doesn't stop them. They're more focused on grabbing that which they want, on reaching that which they want. That is one of the first lessons I learned from watching this movie. I will now be sharing with you the dialogue of this movie for you to better understand the example that I am giving you. Melinda. I'm Melinda. If you want to hear the will of the sea, listen to the harbor. Wingo. But there's no need. Listen to these winds. I've never seen a hurricane like this in my life. Officer Jenny. Is it really that bad? Miranda. I grew up near the harbor and I've never experienced a storm like this. And not only that, the storm is directly over New Island. For out to sea, I cannot in good conscience allow you to wander into such obvious danger. I beg you, as one sworn to protect the harbor. Officer Jenny. You heard her. The ferry for today is cancelled. Pokemon trainer with blue t-shirt. Well, I'm going to New Island anyway. My Pokemon are great swimmers. We'll make it to that place, to that palace, no problem. Miranda. No, I know the sea and I'm telling you no. Officer Jenny. She's right. And if one of your Pokemon is wounded, the Pokemon Center here won't be able to help it. So here, I'm going to stop here before I continue with the example of the short story. I want to share with you when Miranda is speaking, and she says, I grew up near this harbor and I've never experienced a storm like this. She's making it sound dangerous, you know. She grew up, she has so much knowledge behind this, and she doesn't want you to attempt this because she fears of your failure. She fears that you might endanger yourself. And not only that, the storm is directly over New Island. Not only that, the storm is on the island, the place where you're supposed to go. I cannot in good conscience allow you to wander into such obvious danger. Obvious danger. I beg you, as one sworn to protect the harbor. And now she's being considerate, she's being compassionate. She's making herself feel that she cares for you and she doesn't want you to go. And then you have Officer Jenny behind her agreeing to her statements. But yet you have these Pokemon trainers who feel confident about themselves, who feel confident about their skills and their experience, and they believe they can make it. And those are the trainers that attempt and go. I will now continue. Officer Jenny. No, don't. Stop or I'll have to arrest you. They're even putting it as a warning. They'll have to arrest you. And they still go. Miranda. I knew we couldn't stop all of them. They're Pokemon trainers. Adventurers. They never would have come here if they'd known they'd be stopped. Here's to their safety. So here Miranda is saying that only the adventurers, they're Pokemon trainers. Pokemon trainers are adventurers. They never would have come here if they knew they'd be stopped. She's saying that they know, she says that she knows that these Pokemon trainers know what they stand for. They know who they are and they know what they're after. And they wouldn't have come here in the first place if they're going to allow some circumstance like the storm to prevent them from achieving their goal. So this is one of the first lessons that I learned, is that only there's always only a few that decide to take action. There is only those few that decide to give themselves a winning chance, to find out if they have a winning chance. These are the people that separate themselves from those who really don't make it in life, because they give themselves a fighting chance. They're not the people who regret things in life. They're not the people who will wonder for the rest of their lives, what would have happened if I would have done this? They find out. If they fail, they know they failed, so they won't longer have it in their conscience, what would have happened if I failed? And if they succeed, they know they succeeded. And if they failed, well, they know that they didn't succeed. But they give themselves that fighting chance. This is one of the first lessons that I learned from this short story. The second lesson is the same lesson. They just give another example. There is a scene where Mewtwo is saying that he is the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world, but Ash is willing to confront him. Ash is willing to challenge him because Ash says, you never know until you try. You never know until you try. So that is the same philosophy, the same lesson from the first lesson. You never know if you will reach the island until you try. And I believe that is what has made Ash successful in reaching that island, because he was willing to find out. He was willing to find out if he was able to make it. And now he's applying that same philosophy, that same way of thinking. You never know until you try, to battle Mewtwo and see if he could defeat him. He is not contemplating, overthinking, oh, he's the strongest, I don't know, I may lose. He's willing to find out. So be the person who is willing to find out. But this is what I have learned from this movie. As you can see, many of our favorite movies have valuable life lessons that we can learn from, and this is one of them. So next time you watch a movie, be alert that there is a life lesson that this movie, this story is trying to share with you, and that if you catch it, and if you apply it to your life, and it makes your life an improvement, why not? The third lesson that I learned is at the end of the movie, when Mewtwo gives the speech. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. Wow, isn't that powerful? Isn't that speech powerful? That quote, I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. So the whole story is based on Mewtwo being created by the scientists, and Mewtwo just wants to find out why was he created. He always asks himself, why am I here? What's my purpose of life? Why was I created? And all the time he's trying to figure out why was he created. But then he comes to realize through the whole experiences that he has with Ash and others, and his team, and Ash's team members, and all these Pokemons. If you haven't watched the movie, watch it. But I'll be describing what happens. Ash basically teaches Mewtwo compassion, Ash respect. Those Pokemon respect him. The Pokemon love him. Mewtwo thought that Pokemon were only there to serve humans. But in reality, there are some Pokemon that serve humans because they respect them, not because they are their slaves. And there's trainers that don't use them as slaves. They have them as friends. He saw that not all humans are the same. That's one of the reasons. And that is when he gives that speech. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. So now he's saying that it doesn't matter why you were born. It doesn't matter why you were born. It doesn't matter why you were created. What is important is what you do with the life, the gift of life. What is important is what you decide to do with your life. So, this is what I have learned from watching Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. If you found this video useful, helpful, share it with somebody that will benefit. Watch the movie. It is entertaining. It is Pokemon. If you are not a fan, you might be one, because Pokemon, this movie has a life lesson, many life lessons that you can use to apply to improve your life and the life of others. As always, all I ask of you is to share the story. Why? Because there's always a meaning behind a story. Thank you.